Hey guys, welcome to my makeup tutorial, game day makeup tutorial. Okay, so first you moisturize, whatever, like with your own moisturizer, you don't want your skin to be dry. And then I recommend primer just because you're sweating and jumping around. The Refy one's good, Milk has a good one. There's a bunch of good ones, but I use this one, I already put it on. But you just put that all over your face, let it dry. Okay, next, foundation. I use the Flawless Filter just because I don't really like heavy foundation for game day because we're like sweating and stuff. But put it all over your face and then you're gonna blend that in. I use the NARS one because it's like super good and it's not that expensive. But like I know Tarte has a good concealer, but this is where I put it. The goal is for the center of your face to be brighter than the outside of your face. So like your T-zone, that's where that goes. And you're also gonna wanna have setting powder ready. I'm pretty sure Huda Beauty has a really good one, but I use the Laura Mercier and I love it. So you're gonna put this on, let it get a little tacky. I use just a powder puff. You can find these literally anywhere. And I just get powder on it, like ready to go. And you're gonna wanna blend it in after you get it a little tacky. The tacky part is key so that it like really gives you that full coverage. And you literally have to try to like keep your eye in like this really weird position and then put the powder on right after you blend. This will help with creasing. So you're gonna do that to all your sections and then you should have a little bit of powder on your face like this and you just let it sit for a little bit. Bake. This is like the after I have all the powder on my face. You should look a little wild. But you're gonna let this sit for a second, organize yourself, and then we'll continue. Okay, so next you're just gonna take like a fluffy brush and blend all this out. Not too harshly, just gently. It's gonna look a little light, but that's how we're gonna like contour and bronze and stuff. Personally, I'm a big believer in using cream products. Ooh, you definitely heard that. I'm a big believer in using cream products and then powder products. I think it just makes it look so much better. So for like my cream bronzer, I use the Charlotte Tilbury Sunkissed Glow Bronzer. It's in this giant palette. It's literally huge and lasts forever. I recommend getting a little darker than you think just for game day, just because you want to look a little tanner. Also, we usually get spray tans like pretty consistently. You don't have to do that, but that's just what I do. I'm going to show you where you put this. I use like just like a brush. I use this brush for low-key everything. And you're going to put it on like the tops of your cheekbones. I know it looks crazy. You're also going to put it on the edges of your forehead because again, we want to make the outside of our face look more contoured than that. So we'll blend all this in, but I'm just trying to give you like a, I would say your nose a little bit, lightly. You can always add, you can never remove your jawline. And honestly, that's it. You could also put like the remainder of what's on your brush on your eyelids. We don't really do crazy eyeshadow, but I also like blend this into my cheeks just so I look sun-kissed. But this is like relatively where all your contour should go, your cream contour. Here too, and obviously blend down your neck as needed. So we're gonna blend this and we'll be right back. Okay, so now I have some color on my face. We're still gonna blend some more later, so try not to worry too much. So my new obsession is the Benetint. I use it in the color Raspberry for my cream or like liquid blush. But Soph actually put me onto this Pixie Stick, which I love. You can get this at Target. And the color is, I think it's like Ruby or something. Ruby. This is also really good. And also Patrick Ta, if you're like a Sephora girl, has like a palette and it's like it comes with the cream and the powder. Also love that. But right now I'm on my Benetint Grind. I also love this because you could put it on your lips as like a nice lip stain so that your lips look good, because I cannot stress enough for game day you need to have color in your lips. But when using this for blush, you have to act quickly. So you put on a little bit and you have to blend it very quickly or it kind of does stain and it looks a little weird. I like to keep my blush on the apples of my cheeks and just kind of blend it into my bronzer, but definitely more on the apple of your cheek so it looks like a sun-kissed glow, like looks like you were in the sun. One thing about me, I also put blush a little bit on my nose, but I kind of just use what's excess on my brush. But I'm gonna do the other side and I'm gonna do my lips and I'm gonna come back. So as you can tell, I actually have like color in my lips and in my cheeks now. We're also gonna go over it with powder later, but the lip stain is great, but you do need to like do that because it's a little much. But we're also gonna go over it later with lip liner and lipstick so we don't look crazy. But now we're going to move on to powder products. I literally use this, just the Sephora bronzer. It's so old, but what's it saying? It's like if it works, I don't know, whatever. I love it. So this is literally just gonna go over where you put all your contour. So it's gonna go in your cheekbones. I recommend using a more angled brush like this. On your cheekbones, at the corners of your forehead. I would chisel out my jawline a little more. Again, the overall goal is to just get the outer edges of your face nice and chiseled while leaving the center of your face like nice and bright. I also blend into my blush. I would say number one thing, just like make sure you're blending everything. You don't want to look like splotchy. I would also go over your concealer a little bit if it's a little too bright. I know some people like theirs really bright, but sometimes it looks a little silly. And again, I just take whatever excess on this brush and I put it on my eyelids. This is like my eyeshadow. Again, we don't really do eyeshadow for games, but it just gives you like some definition. And again, just blend down your neck, chisel the jawline, etc. Okay, next, nose contour. You're gonna take this and a small like fluffy brush. My advice is to stay closer to the top of your nose rather than the side of your nose. And don't use too much because again, you can always add, but like try to just draw a line on the top of your nose. It'll just make your nose look a little more defined and smaller. Duh. I don't know if you see what I'm going for. Super light pressure. And then for like that cute little button nose effect, I like to take my contour and go under my nose here and just blend it down like that center part. And then do like a little across, like right where the bend in your nose would be. Do you see that? Like put a little bit of contour there and obviously blend. I also like to take it up into my eyebrow. I feel like that really helps with like the definition and just like blending overall like into the bronzer that we put on our eyelid before. Like I think it just chisels out the face really nicely. And then I just kind of take this bigger brush and like blend it because I don't like harsh lines. Some people like a harsher one, like a harsher contour. Also at this point I use the same brush and just contour my lips a little bit. Go right under this part of your lip, like the heart that hangs over, just make them look a little more plump. And right over your cupid's bow. I would say this makes such a big difference. Anyone who wants to look like you have bigger lips, this definitely works. Maybe on camera, but in real life it does add like dimension to the face. So that's that. Next, powder blush, just any fluffy brush, really doesn't matter, and your favorite blush. I like the Patrick Ta, I like the Laura Mercier. Blush is like pretty whatever, but I will say the Patsy Ta one's really pigmented, so it lasts a long time. And again, I focus it on the apples of my cheeks, and then I bring it up towards the bronzer, and then always a little on the nose, just to blend it so it doesn't look like a clown. And then I would also say just like a little bit on like your forehead, like the center of your forehead, your chin, just blend. This is where I'm at. That's pretty much it for like the base. We'll do highlight later, but now it's like eyes, eyebrows. I use the Anastasia Brow Freeze. It's literally insane. It does kind of crisp up your eyebrows a little bit. Like you definitely feel it like once it dries, but I will say like my eyebrows don't move, like actually don't move. This is like before, after. I really like the applicator on this too, and it's huge and you really do not need a lot. A little goes a long way with this stuff. I also know some people like to fill in their brows. Personally, I don't. I think it's because I'm blonde, so like when I do it looks a little dumb. But I know Anastasia Beverly Hills has really good brow products, like if you want to fill in your brows, or maybe for like UDA you'd want to do that. I don't really know. Next, mascara. I know some people have lashes, but for people who don't, mascara. I don't curl my lashes because it rips them out, but I use the Rare Beauty mascara. Love it. Also Maybelline has a really good mascara. Better Than Sex, also really good. There's a lot of good mascaras out there, but this is my favorite right now, so I'm gonna do my lashes and I'll be right back. Little tip when I do mascara, after I like do one coat, I like put a little bit on the tips, and I feel like that makes such a difference. I don't know if that's just like mental. And I also put it on both sides of my eyelashes. Like I go from here and then I go from here. Honestly, like, every day I don't do that, but for like game day I do coat both sides. I think it makes a really big difference. Sometimes it does get a little clumpy. This mascara is also kind of old, but you can always brush that out with like a spoolie or something, or even just use your fingers. I'm just kidding. But that's that. And also a little tip, I'm a little bit messy when I put on mascara, and sometimes like when I look up afterwards it gets all over. Let it dry and then use a Q-tip wet it with like your tongue, and it'll literally come right off without ruining like your whole makeup. Again, just cleaning any little mess ups. And now we're gonna do highlighter. So for highlighter, I use the Fenty Beauty one. I know like Jouer also has a really good one. Highlighters are pretty like whatever, but I do wet my hand with setting spray, and you're gonna need a normal like little fluffy brush for like your cheekbones, and then a little one for like the little highlights that I think make a huge difference. So you're gonna want to wet the brush with setting spray first. It should be damp, not like soaking wet. Put it in the highlighter, and this is where I highlight personally. Inner corners of your eyes makes the huge difference. It like just makes your eyes look so much whiter and brighter. Like I think it makes such a difference. I also highlight the tip of my nose. It's like an exclamation mark, like literally just down the center of where you put your contour earlier, and then a little bit on the tip. Also makes a huge difference. Again, I would go in under my brow bone, like right in the arch, and just put a little bit. It literally makes it look like you did a whole eyeshadow look without doing any. And it's just like highlighting the elevated parts of your face. And then I also do a little bit on my cupid's bow right here. Makes a big difference. I also put it on these two like things. And again, I just like those little things make a huge difference. Then I take this bigger brush, get it wet, and just focus on the tops of your cheekbones, like the most elevated part of your face. Not too much. You don't want to look like there's a line of shimmer on your face, but also be sure to blend it in so it looks like it blends in nicely with the bronzer and the blush. You can always add more. I also like to add just excess on top of my eyebrows, just because this is also a very elevated part of your face. And I kind of just blend some onto my cheeks, to be honest, because I like to look like glittery. And I'll also like just blend some down my neck. I also use like a body glitter because I like to look like nice and glowy, so kind of just helps blend all that in. Like I'll put that on like my shoulders and like my arms and stuff. But that's kind of all places I put highlighter. I think that is like one of the most important steps of your makeup. Also, almost forgot, I do put a little bit on my chin, just like excess. Really just all the elevated parts of your face. Okay, next, lip. I use the Makeup by Mario lip liner. This is the color Travis. I love it. It's like a nude. I love it. I line my lips with this, but I make like dumb faces, so I'm gonna do it off camera. And then I use the Dior lip oil in the color Rosewood. But I also really like NYX has a really good lip oil. It doesn't really matter, like just like a lip product. For game day, we pretty much usually say like a pinky nude brown, like not red and like not too brown. I'll be back. Also the pink Benetton kind of evens this out, so I'll be back when it's done. Okay, so I did my lip liner. You also want to make sure you're blending in the center of your lips. You don't want to see like a line around your lips. It's like not cute. Also, I was just thinking another good color is Pillow Talk Charlotte Tilbury. Love that color. This is the oil. Just gives it that glossy, adds a little pink to it. Not too much. And then I finish off with, I use the setting spray first. It's like a little more moisturizing. I would say if you have drier skin, definitely use this. I have like none left. This is the Charlotte Tilbury, I think, Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray, but I also am a huge fan of the one size. This I put on top just because it really locks it in. I don't recommend breathing that in. It's like literally smells like hairspray. Cannot be good for you. But that's the makeup. Super simple. If you have any questions, text me. Love you all.